All right. Last week,
What happened?
I was able to capture a great viewing of Solo once again.
Yes.
So I was able to see it twice.
Good
With all
timing. I
things
also
said
saw
and
it
done.
once again.
Last week?
Not last week, 2 weeks ago. But I don't know if did we talk about how after I saw it again? I don't think
I
we've
don't
mentioned
think
it in a
so.
few weeks. So
Yeah, so I would like to. I wrote some notes here. Oh, I think it's going to cancel my live, but I have it on the notes on my phone. Does it still show us live on Instagram?
I'm live. You're a loading screen.
Hell yeah.
Just gonna have to deal with it.
Let me find out. I got a new phone too, so
Everything's on the fritz.
everything's perfect.
It's not how that works.
All right, so I okay. Just as a setting, I was in West Virginia again. Sorry, anybody who lives in West Virginia. I am not. It's a beautiful place. It really is. The landscape is fucking awesome. There's more trees in West Virginia than anywhere. If you flattened West Virginia, it'd be bigger than Texas because there's so many fucking hills. Every hill you go over, you're in a valley of another larger hill, and you just get lost. So it's a very, very pretty, very beautiful area, but at the same time, I can't handle it.
Yeah, the setting's great. Lots of rivers and shit, cutting through mountains, and yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, there's just not a lot beyond that, and maybe it's because I'm not from there. But I've been all over fucking West Virginia for the past month, so there's not a lot of places left unturned by the Mopar machine.
It's just bush light and no Wi-Fi.
What the fuck am I talking about?
The Mopar machine.
All right.
All right, you had notes about Solo.
I do have some notes on Solo.
Were you sitting there taking notes in the movie theater? Tell me you were.
I was. You want to know why? Because
I've done
I was
that
the
before.
only motherfucker there.
Nice.
I saw it by myself. Yes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of times there's something I think about in the movie, and then by the time it's over, I'm like, fuck. There's like 4 things I forgot about that I knew I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, and since I had already seen it once, I wasn't like sitting there I was trying to enjoy it, but I was trying to pick it apart rather than, obviously the first time you run through is just like, I'm trying to understand the story.
Yeah, yeah.
So I was able to focus on, did they say Zelbar or...
They did. You didn't believe me, fuck.
I still don't. I saw it again and listened for it. There was twice where during the Kessel mining scene, they say like something that starts with a Z, but it's one syllable. They're like, Zah, come on. I'm like, that was clearly not Zalbar.
Nope.
Zah.
Incorrection. Your perfect tears have missed the glory of the Easter egg.
These people. So,
dude, I'm triggered by that.
So I saw it by myself. I was able to write these things down. I do have, let's just call it 8 little notes here. So I'm excited to get into this. So
start with number 8.
So you know how in the original trilogy, especially, each movie kind of had a color scheme.
Yeah.
Where I guess episode 4 might be like a sand. I guess maybe Tatooine color.
Maybe like a tone. I'm
kind of thinking like black because they spent a lot of time in the Death Star, and even the Falcon's kind of dark. I don't know. But episode 5 was clearly white because of the snow. Very darky. And episode 6,
very lighty.
Episode 6 was clearly green. So I was kind of looking for a color in this, but it popped out so many times. Blue was clearly the color of Solo. Every time they were in the Falcon, they had blue, like it was almost like a blue filter on their face. The entire Corellia, everything was blue.
Yep.
So I thought that was super interesting that I watched the movie and really did not get that the first time. But when I sat there and like looked for it, it was like right in my face. Like clearly everything's blue.
Yeah, a lot of people are praising the cinematography, but like some theaters aren't showing it the right way. Or their projectors are old. Like maybe the projectors aren't top notch, like they're old or something, or it's not optimized. And like people have complaining about the film is too dark. And that's because of the theater, not because of the film itself. Because the movie, like you just mentioned about like the whole color scheme and everything, it's getting praised for like the photography and everything. But some theaters just don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you didn't notice that.
Yeah, the blue color scheme was cool.
Yeah.
Because that's something that, well, I was thinking out of the other 3 movies that they've made under Disney, I haven't noticed a color scheme.
Say Rogue One was like gray. I don't know.
Maybe The Last Jedi was red.
Last Jedi was definitely red. Yeah.
Maybe.
See, I feel like Solo's was yellow. I feel like they usually match the marketing material to that. And all the Solo stuff was yellow and red. Mainly yellow. Last Jedi was definitely red. Rogue One was like black and green.
No, Travis Dunn up here is lying over here. He said they must be bad theaters because Solo wasn't dark to me. Solo was dark.
That's exactly what I said.
Solo was dark.
Some of it was, but if it looked like it was too dark to make out what was happening on screen, it's because like the theater had a bad screen or a bad projector or something.
See, this is something else that I think that's crazy. My mind's crazy.
Yes, it is.
I didn't write down, but so like after like looking at these and rehashing, my mind remembered something that I was supposed to write down. So I better get it out now. So I was so surprised after watching it again to realize Han Solo was a stormtrooper for 3 fucking years.
Yeah.
Like
it's a 3-year gap.
Jumps through that so quickly, but it says 3 years later. And you're like, what? So he spent time.
Yeah.
Mopar wasn't making shit up.
He got trained.
Yeah, he was fully trained. But
he got some XP.
In this scheme of the entire movie, it was like 10 minutes and nothing was focused on the actual stormtroopers.
Right.
It was a focus on what's his face's character?
Beckett.
Sorry, I just now remembered Qu'ira and I just remembered Dryden, but I can't remember fucking Beckett. So yeah, I thought that was huge. 3 years. Yeah. Han has seen a fuck ton.
Yeah, and being a new trooper, they like are throwing him on the shittiest jobs ever.
Right. But that's something that I don't think I would have assumed under Harrison Ford's Solo. I would have never expected him to be a soldier in a military for 3 years. Like, he just doesn't have that mindset. Or, I don't know. What do you think? I just never expected. I would have said you would have been lying if someone said, oh, yeah.
Well, he's a different person by then, I guess, is the justification for that. But I love that he was actually in the Army. And I wonder how much like flight training he got too. Because when he went to sign up, he said he wanted to be a pilot in the first place. And then it flash forwards 3 years and you see him in the fucking mud as a mud trooper. So, but no, it's great.
But they say he got kicked out too, though, as a pilot.
Oh, he does say that, yeah. So I wonder if he went there first and they were like, get the fuck out of here. Get on Minbong.
Oh, here we go. Drangus up here. Apparently the deleted scene will show him in the flight academy. That'd be cool.
Nice.
I understand why they took that out, but that would be cool.
Mm-hmm.
Cool addition. Mm-hmm. All right. Continuing rambling through this shit.
Continuance.
All right. So there was 2 things that I saw of why the Falcon meant so much
to Han.
To Han and to Lando.
To Lando. Yeah.
So Han, it's small, but he does say it. He gets on the ship's a Corellian ship.
Yeah.
And his dad built them.
Right, yeah.
So it's almost like, oh yeah, my dad worked for Ford all these years. But he even says my dad probably built this ship.
Right.
Like I don't even like my dad, but that's all I have left is like in remembrance of my family is
right. He built the ship for me.
That's all I'm on right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's cool to make that like deeper connection that this is more than just a ship to him. This is like his history. This is where he comes from. This is like a momentum.
Yep. Memento.
Memento is what I was looking for. Yes. And then obviously on Lando's side, he never wants to give up the ship because the droid he was banging is uploaded into the Falcon.
Yep.
So like when we see him in 5 and he asks, how is my ship? That makes it mean so much fucking more.
Yeah, it's like it was his second-hand droid for a long time, yeah.
Exactly. It's like Luke losing R2, but having R2 uploaded into a starship.
Right.
Obviously, Luke would want that fucking starship.
Right. Yeah, no, I love that, and it makes so much sense about how like 3PO is arguing with the ship. Because when he says that stuff in episode 5, you're like, wait, this ship has a personality? What are you talking about? And now it makes so much more
dialect.
sense. Yeah. Most peculiar dialect. Yeah. The droid that he was banging. Yeah, that's fucking... All right, next point.
Well, I don't know if there was actual penetration. I didn't see that port on her.
It works.
So what I got, I'm jumping all over my list here. Solo's father built the Falcon. Means a lot to him. Blue color scheme. Next, Han's kiss with Qu'ira was interrupted again. Every time Han kisses someone, it's always interrupted. I laugh my ass off. I knew it was coming, and I was just like, "Oh, this is gonna be fucking hilarious."
Well, they had plenty of fucking makeout scenes, so he gets interrupted once, no big deal.
But it gets interrupted on the Falcon again,
and in fucking Lando's cloak closet. How ridiculous is that?
Trying to bang on the cloak
or his cape closet. Sorry. Say one more time.
So, let's see here. When they land on Kessel to steal what's the fucking fuel?
Coaxium.
Coaxium. Is that made up for just this movie?
Good question. Let me turn to Google.
Because I feel like I've never heard that before.
Let's see if I can look this up before Shinobi says it.
Uh-oh, here we go. Time's...
And I have like a 5 to 10 second lead time because there's a delay in the stream. As always. Oh, found it.
Powerful Google.
Coaxium is a hyperfuel, a rare form of hypermatter, and type of expensive starship fuel mined on Kessel. And if you notice, actually, at the very beginning, they do say in the little crawl that isn't a crawl.
I love that, by the way.
I actually hate it. Again. I hate it.
I loved it.
It says when it mentions like the gangs are fighting over hyperfuel at the very beginning. So it must be so important at this like period of time for some reason.
It's interesting that all crystals are like a form of energy in the Star Wars universe because we got kyber crystals now. Mm-hmm. Lightsaber crystals, I feel like, can be a lot of different things. Coaxium's a thing now. Like, yeah, it's interesting that they would do that.
You just developed a list when you said lightsaber.
Lightsaber.
Lightsaber things are crystal. They're their thing now.
Crystals. There's a lot of crystals.
First appearance, and the reason I looked it up, I totally fucking skipped over that. The first appearance was in Star Wars Commander, which is one of those mobile games.
Oh, so it means nothing.
So like Wikipedia tells you exactly where it shows up and what the first one was. Everything is Solo, Star Wars Story, Star Wars Story, Star Wars Story. First appearance was in Commander, that mobile game, and then it was also in the Battlefront 2 DLC. So somewhere in that DLC mission when Iden's 70 or whatever.
Hearts of Kyber.
What a terrible fucking game.
Crystals.
I don't want to get sidetracked. Continue.
Continuing on, so back to the Kessel, when the plan was to put Han and Chewie back in the handcuffs, and that was a big call out to the Death Star. We'll just put Chewie in handcuffs. He's a prisoner. Look at him, big jackass.
Yeah,
I thought it was funny. It was a small little tidbit. This is the fan. What am I trying to say?
Fan service.
Fan service that I like.
That doesn't interrupt or like conflict with. Throat. Yeah, and it doesn't interrupt or mess with like the actual story. If that wasn't in there, it wouldn't affect anything. But it's cool that it is.
Yeah. So it was cool. It was a cool fan service kind of throwback, but it was just a little tidbit. Yeah. It was an entire mission with all these fucking creatures that we've all seen before. No, it was just a small little thing. I thought it was nice.
I agree.
I mentioned this on the Patreon call. During the entire movie, I was laughing because all of the Star Wars technology, especially in that age, is retro. So much like Fallout.
Yeah.
All the Fallout technology where it's like futuristic but also old. Like all the screens like flicker and you could barely, they buzz but also they're running this fucking machine, Starfighter shit. Like,
yeah,
I love it. It's so cool.
It's cool. They keep to that style of the original.
Yeah. And we see that in Rogue One as well.
Right.
A little bit, I guess.
I think maybe it was the cinematographer guy was talking about that while they were still shooting it and how it's like so rooted in that 70s feel, even though it's supposed to be like modern, crazy, advanced scientific shit. it looks and has that feel like it's retro or something.
Yeah, retro futuristic. That's kind of the boom.
I like it.
Continuing, the comedy of the Droid Rebellion. There was something about that was like innocent. It was refreshing. It made sense. The character was cool.
Yeah, but
it was funny because it wasn't the Last Jedi humor forced down our throats. Let's. I'll wait. Can you hear me? Can I hear you? Can you listen? Well, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
And
L3
stop.
is over there just talking shit. And if you listen to it, it's funny. And if you don't listen to it, then you don't miss anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, the little droid rebellion she puts on is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
One of the droids was like a server droid. He just had a tray that was just banging control panels. I was like, dude, this is fucking funny.
Yeah,
Like, I don't care who you are. It is. So I thought it was refreshing to hear that it wasn't like a spoken joke. It was like a funny scene rather than, I'm having fun. My line is this now. Like, okay. Who wrote this?
You, apparently.
Oh. So
What
this
else?
one I don't even understand, so I'm not going to say it.
The thing that you wrote down yourself, you don't understand. What is it?
maybe
I can interpret. I am fluent in 5 million forms of drunk, asshole.
Not Mo Parky. Hey.
Mo Parky. That's your language. We need to make up a whole Star Wars planet, like where the Mopar come from.
Mo Parky?
I spelled it with like a QUI at the end.
Mo Parky. Because I wrote down Solo's extraction, and I think I was gonna make a point, and then it like fixed itself in a later scene. So I wrote that down kind of as a reminder.
His extraction of what?
Of the
coaxium. Oh, when he's moving that cart, yeah.
Oh, I think it was funny because in Battlefront 2, it takes an entire team to push that thing.
Yeah.
And he's like pushing it by himself halfway through the mine. I'm like, dude.
And he's terrible at it. Yeah. He needs
Okay.
Chewbacca to come help him out. Yeah.
The other thing I was going to try to say was wrong. When he first gets there and he picks up the first tube and puts it on, I think they say, good, now only 11 more. And then a later scene, I see him pushing it. And I swear there was like 6 on there. But I later was counting it, and I was like, okay, there is clearly.
Of course. Only people like us would sit there and count however many tubes are on the cart. Make sure Ron Howard kept up with continuity. Yeah.
I guess last but not least, this was actually one of the most interesting because I think this is open to interpretation. So Qu'ira's killing of Dryden, she mentions something of a sort that she learns. Let's just call it like a martial art.
Teras Kasi.
She learned. Yeah. What is that?
I think.
Is it?
Well, here we go. Look it up.
Because I think while I was in the film or in the movie, she said it really quick, and I was like, I'm not sure what she said, so I was trying to Google it, and I couldn't find anything.
Google versus Shinobi. Well, we talked about it maybe on last week's Patreon call or the week before. It first showed up in that terrible like Mortal Kombat Star Wars game. It was called Masters of Teras Kasi. But if you look it up on Wikipedia, it's actually a form of martial arts. It's a hand-to-hand combat. And I believe it was developed to be able to like disarm people that had a weapon that you didn't have a weapon.
Okay.
But if I'm
saying same fighting form that Darth Maul uses, which is very interesting because he's always armed.
Well, I guess on the Wikipedia it just says it's a form of hand-to-hand combat, and that's it. Now, if I click on the Legends tab, so it was developed for non-Jedi to fight against Jedi.
Holy shit, that's sweet. Especially now that Travis Dunn has mentioned that Darth Maul uses it. That's fucking badass.
That's so fucking awesome.
The reason why I was interested in her abilities is obviously with Maul saying basically we're going to be working together a lot more. I feel like she's been prepped to take over Dryden's role.
Yeah, kind of getting groomed, yeah.
Yeah, groomed. So I thought that might be very. So when they're on Kessel and she gets locked in that room with L3, and then you just hear this fucking rumble, and L3 goes, "Whoa!" I was like, "Dude, Qu'ira's a fucking badass,
dude. Like, she's awesome."
walks in there by herself and just takes a motherfucker out that's armed.
Yeah, she's
so I was just interested to see what her background was and what the actual martial art was.
Yeah.
So that adds so much.
Yeah.
Akira's I love that her background, or not background, but her history.
Yeah.
Very clouded, very secretive. She's done things you should never even think about.
Right.
And Han's just the fucking happy-go-lucky, I've seen it all too. Like, you don't know shit, dude. I love that he's like a blind, like...
Half blind.
He's kind of half blind. I've been there and done that. You have no clue what you're talking about, Han.
But also, like, he's very competent.
Movie. Like, the entire movie, Qu'ira was just staring at him like, you get lucky and you're good at what you do, but you really have no fucking clue.
Yeah, yeah. So on the Qu'ira subject, what do you think about her ambitions to defeat Dryden and survive? Was that based more on her wanting to climb up the ranks, or more based on her actually caring about Han?
I don't think it's anything about Han.
No?
I think it...
You don't think there can't be a mix?
See, I think...
Like, because if she didn't care about Han, she would just probably killed him, right?
No, because Dryden needed him.
No, I mean, by the end there, like, wouldn't she have just killed all of them?
I think that's the thing.
I think she still cares about him.
I don't think she needed to kill Han.
I think she still cares about him, but she has bigger ambitions, and in this point in her life, she can't just like quit Crimson Dawn and go run off and be happy on Naboo or Glen Selm or whatever the fuck. Like, she has to. She's ambitious and wants to keep rising through the ranks, but she still cares about Han Solo.
But so it's kind of just victim of circumstance, because Dryden was about to kill Han, and then she jumps in.
Right.
Did she jump in to save Han, or was that the actual best advantage to jump in when he's not like...
Both, I think.
Oh, holy shit. How?
Tell me about it.
Qu'ira actually kills Dryden?
So sweet.
So he's got those like it's almost like single-hand double blades.
Double-bladed daggers. Yeah.
Double-bladed daggers. And he's going to stab her and cuts through her sword. And then she like twists. His dagger gets stuck in the sword. And then she uses his dagger to stab him. I was like, dude.
Fucking sweet.
That was fucking sweet.
I don't know if he cut the sword in half. I thought the sword had like a notch.
No, he like
on purpose.
He cut into it because it was like melting. And then it gets kind of stuck and she twists and uses the dagger that oh my God. It was like, it became like an axe. And that's how she killed him.
Yeah, that was badass. Yeah. Yeah, I'm curious. I didn't catch that 100% closely. I could tell that it was split, and for a second I just thought that it was like a notched sword or something for whatever reason. For that purpose, maybe like to like grab an enemy's weapon and like lock it away from them. But I'll have to watch closely for that next time. That's awesome.
Yeah, next time you watch it.
She was crushing, dude. Crushing it.
Yeah, so she was she's a badass.
Real quick Easter egg. Did you notice when they get off of the Falcon on Kessel and they're doing the ruse where like she owns them as slaves? She says that she works for the Federation of Trade Routes and something.
No.
It's like the new version of the fucking Trade Federation, I have to assume. Yeah. Like the Federation for Trade Routes and Commerce or some shit like that. Trade Federation. Still around. We're right back where we started in 99.
Invasion. It all leads back.
977, 99 is where it all started.
77.
Don't listen to those fucking haters telling you about the 70s. Not worth it. So, any change in thoughts or feelings or ratings or reactions after seeing it a second time? It's better the second time, don't you think?
I think every Star Wars film is.
That's true.
I think they did their due diligence in adding small stuff, just like Rogue One. If you really pay attention, there's a lot of stuff in Rogue One and Episode 7. Now, Episode 8 is a transition film. It's a middle film. I don't expect them to like plant a lot of small things. But as these standalones, it's worth you viewing several times and paying attention to different things.
Well, it's also because 8 is as far as the timeline goes, is the newest one. Like Rogue One is right before 4. It's immersed in that timeline, so there's a bunch of shit that you can already reference. 8 is kind of carving its own path forward because it's so far ahead. But yes, right. I know what you mean.
No, I truly enjoyed it.
Good.
I don't know if it would move up or down on my scale. It won't move down, but I don't know if it moves up.
Last time I ranked him, I put it pretty high actually. You put it like 5th, 4th or 5th.
Yeah, I think mine was halfway. I like Rogue One better as a standalone.
I actually think I like Solo better as a standalone.
See, I like we're getting back to what we talked about last episode.
Let's repeat ourselves.
I like the big galaxy-wide struggle, and this is kind of what's happening in it. I'm not a huge fan of the Marvel universe. This entire film is about Solo. While I was enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But it's a little different feel. But I have nothing bad to say about it. It just, there's other ones that I like better.
For sure. I feel it, man. I respect your opinion.
That's great to hear.